Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 27th. You have this energy and prosperity card, so I like that. We're off to a good start. I feel like you're healing from something. For some of you, this could literally be your health that you're healing from. I don't know, I see you like, again, I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice, but I do feel like you could be going through a healing or something. I feel like you're healing. Let's just leave it at that. You have the Three of Swords, the Nine of Cups, and the Five of Swords. I feel like some of you, and if you have gone through a breakup or something like that, again, I feel like you're healing from it. You have the Nine of Cups, which would kind of represent to me a little bit more energy of you focusing on yourself. You have the Star card here, another card of healing. So, I think everything is kind of adding up to you going through a healing in your life, improving things, trying to improve, how you feel and, all that other stuff. And it might not be like physical feelings. It could be emotional feelings as well. But, again, you have the Three of Swords, Nine of Cups, and the Five of Swords. So this could be a separation that you're having. Or you could be going through a separation and it's like you're not sure what the future holds because you go up Four of Pentacles to the Moon. The Four of Pentacles is kind of like everything you have always known. He's holding on to tightly the past, but really it's kind of like everything. He's just holding on to a comfort zone. And then the Moon is about needing to step out from a comfort zone. It's like needing to leave a comfort zone. The Moon is a mystery, but the Moon is part of the Fool's journey and he has no clue where he's going. So, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's like you're separating away from something that is familiar to you. Might not be love, like I said. And I feel like this is actually going to lead to a wish. It's like this is your first wish card, then you have the Star, then you end with two aces, Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. Everybody has had multiple aces, which is crazy to me. But again, we're kind of at the end of the year. So, sometimes I think end of the year, just there's a lot of new beginning energy because we're about to enter into the new year. So, kind of makes sense. But, I feel you're very focused on your own fulfillment. I'm pretty sure I said this to you in your last reading as well. I think the more that you focus on yourself, the better. And so, yes, I'm giving you permission to be greedy and selfish, but we're talking about, focusing on the good stuff, making sure to focus on, recharging your batteries, making sure to have enough energy, but also, keeping your emotional state high and, all that other stuff. So I kind of see that there. You have the Five of Swords, and again, could be part of a separation. I do also feel that for some of you, this could be a risk that you could be taking to go in a new direction in life or, to face some sort of mystery. Sometimes I just feel that the Five of Pentacles is simply a risk. But going this way, we have the Five of Pentacles with the Ace of Wands. It's almost like you could be attracting someone who's going to be very passionate about you. But it's like, I'm pretty sure I said this to you in your last reading. It's almost as if you're attracting a person where it's like they've been left out in the cold, you've been left out in the cold. I feel like you've been through things that are very similar to each other. So, definitely, could be a person where it's like you're very similar or something like that. Let's see. And with the Three of Swords, you have the Four of Cups. Yes, I think this is what you want. This is a good Four of Cups. This is from the White Sage Tarot. And you can see that these three cups are pouring into one cup. So definitely a very solid connection that could be coming in for you here with the Four of Cups. Again, someone who really pours into you. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Temperance card. Temperance is kind of like a card of transformation. Again, I feel like you're kind of trying to transform yourself. It's a card of alchemy, card of turning one thing into another. But there's like an element of belief. Like you have to believe that you can turn your situation around. I always say with the Temperance card, you can turn a positive into a negative. You can turn a negative into a positive. The choice is yours. It's all about your perspective, which we see right here. The Hangman is coming up in the area of the good stuff. So that would tell me, I do feel like you are either having a more positive perspective or you're gaining a more positive outlook on life or a more positive perspective, something like that. With the Five of Swords, you have the Judgment card. In a lot of ways, I feel like you could be waking up to how a person truly was or is. So if you're walking away from a person or if you're cutting out a person, I kind of feel like you've already done this because of the Five of Pentacles here. I feel like this Judgment card is saying you're waking up. I also feel you could be waking up to your purpose as well. I mean, Judgment and the Star, Judgment is waking up to your purpose, and the Star is kind of having a North Star, having that thing that you use to guide you moving forward in life. You have this Pufferfish. It says, know your limits and your boundaries. I feel like you're setting a lot of boundaries. I almost get like Seven of Wands energy here, where Seven of Wands to me is like a card of drawing a line in the sand. It's more like saying, it's like boundaries as in you are saying, yeah, I do not let people who do XYZ cross this line. And you do have the Nine of Wands as well, which is more like hard boundaries. So again, I feel like you're setting up boundaries. And you have this Hermit Crab card, which hermit crabs, they have shells. So it says resourcefulness, adaptability. I feel like, again, adaptability is going to be very important for you because of the Temperance card. You know, it's a card of alchemy, turning one thing into another. The adaptability, being adaptable, is being able to, pivot, being able to say, okay, one thing isn't working in my life, I'm going to go the other direction. And I kind of see that going on here. You have the Justice card, the Four of Pentacles, and the Star. Justice is a card of equal give and take. So I feel like you are creating a lot of balance. I feel like you are kind of focusing on situations that are just, right? You're more focused on situations that give to you in, equally. So I feel this could be what you're attracting, is more balanced situations. If you want love, could be attracting a Libra, by the way, with this card, but, could be any sign. I also feel you just feel that maybe things are going more your way this month, and not even just this week. I know this is a weekly reading, but, I kind of feel this is talking about this month, December, going into December, that you feel things are more just. You have the Four of Pentacles here. I would encourage you to, sorry, wrong camera, but anyway, I would encourage you to leave a comfort zone, especially going up to the moon. The moon is part of the Fool's journey, and I always tell people, like, the moon does not say stop. The moon says you have to get all the way to these mountains in the background, and yes, mountains represent obstacles, but they also represent an achievement. They represent something that needs to be overcome in your life, and if you do it, you will be successful. And we literally have the Star here, which could be you accomplishing some sort of, goal, wish, dream, something like that. I feel like you've been asking the universe for something. You see there are these ripples going out on this pool, and this is the pool of universal consciousness. So it's almost like you've been sending vibrations out to the universe. I feel like you've been asking for something or wishing for something, and here it is, right here. You have the Five of Pentacles to the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is a new beginning. And Ace of Wands is something very inspirational, or it's kind of like something very exciting. It's also out with the old, in with the new. So I definitely feel you could be attracting something that's like new and very fulfilling into your life here. So let's see where this is going. With the Justice card, you have the Ten of Wands. Yes, carrying too much of other people's BS. So, again, if you're carrying other people's problems or challenges, I would try to let those things go. I feel like they're just getting in the way of you being successful. When you think about it, if you're going to climb some mountains, it's much easier to do it without a bunch of heavy weights on your back, right? So there might be some things that you need to clean up or get rid of in your life. These could be, other people's issues, but, again, setting boundaries. We talked about setting boundaries here. And I would definitely say that lightening the load, right? He's only carrying one wand on the Nine of Wands to the Ace of Wands. It's almost like saying, cutting those things out that dominate your day. If there's any problems, other people's problems, whatever, getting rid of some of that will help you accomplish whatever the moon is encouraging you to do. With the Four of Pentacles, are you kidding? You have the Seven of Wands. I knew this card was going to come up. I literally said it because I was getting like Seven of Wands boundaries. It's more like you are drawing a line in the sand. Again, I love this. I think this is very healthy, very good thing, to set certain boundaries where you don't let people just come in who steal your energy. You don't just let people come in who, are going to take up a bunch of your time and, all this other stuff, And I would be careful of that as well, as like people who want to take up your time. You have the Star here. So you might be, if you're a star or if you're becoming popular, I would be careful of giving too much time to just people. It's like, especially if you have like a social media following or something like that, it's very common for people on social media to get to a certain level and then, people think that you owe them time or whatever. And, again, there are always going to be those people. You just have to ignore them, right? And this is like saying, you have to make sure that you're protecting yourself so you can keep doing what you're doing, which is probably the Star, which is inspiring people. With the Star, you have the Emperor. I really feel you need to take action on the Star. I feel like everybody does. I'm going to probably say this for the next 20 years. If YouTube is still around for 20 years, I'll be saying this for the next 20 years. I think with Pluto and Aquarius, like the number one most spiritual thing we can do is be an inspiration to other people. But we have to, again, how do you become an inspiration? Well, you can overcome something. You can overcome an obstacle. Just by doing that, people see you do that, and then it gives them permission to do it. So, that's what I encourage people to do. If you do that, and you guide people in that way, you're not instructing people, as the Ultimate Warrior used to say, one of my favorite quotes of all time, is from the Ultimate Warrior. Says, don't instruct people, inspire people. And that is Pluto and Aquarius. I would be doing something to inspire people, which is just by living your life, just by improving your life in some way, or As cliche as it sounds, becoming the best version of yourself, whatever that means for you. It's like just by doing that, you are inspiring people, you're working with the energy, you will be rewarded, plain and simple. Next in the area of what's coming towards you, you have this Virgo card. Again, another card of health. It says digest on it, but again, I would watch your health or take care of yourself. You have the solar flare. It says activate on it. I feel like you need to activate this new journey that is on the moon card, right? And I feel it's going to lead to a lot of success. I also feel like there is an activation like relationship. I feel it's two people who have been left out in the cold, two people who are a little bit beat up, but I kind of feel there could be something very passionate, very exciting coming in for you if you want it. I feel like this person's a little bit challenging in some way. I feel like you're both challenging. I'm calling both your asses out in this reading because I feel like both people are maybe a little bit challenging. So it's like this relationship could be triggering, but in a good way. It's like maybe you both trigger each other's like boundaries in some way, but like not in a bad way. Again, I think it's like one of those things where it's like, I think we all have certain boundaries that aren't real boundaries. They're just boundaries because we've been hurt. And so we're trying to avoid something that you can't avoid in the first place. I always tell people you cannot avoid getting hurt no matter what you do. It's like, so you might as well throw that out the window. It's like, I believe the problem with modern day relationships is that we all do things so that we don't get hurt in the relationship, but it's like those things that we do to avoid getting hurt are not us. It's not genuine, it's not authentic, and I'm not calling anyone out here, but it's like we do things like, maybe play a certain game. Maybe you're not intending to play a game, but maybe you're like, oh, I'm going to make this person jump through these hoops, and then that you're already starting off the relationship on the wrong foot. Instead of just being like, hey, all relationships hurt sometimes, and it's just part of life. It's like you're not dead. I always tell people, like, trust me, I get tons of dramatic people that are like, this person did all these things to me, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, they're a bozo. Who cares? They're a jerk. That, what did you learn from it? How can you apply it to something new, right? Keep it moving. Keep it moving forward, people, right? It's like we got to get away from this like Kim Kardashian getting all wrapped up in negative relationship toxic BS, I believe, right? And, trust me, I'm not perfect, so don't listen to me at the same time. But what I would say is, again, I kind of feel that where the two of you, if you're attracting a relationship, could be, kind of triggering each other, those types of boundaries. I don't even know if that's a boundary. You know what I mean? It's like maybe, maybe you meet a person who doesn't, or maybe you don't like it if you are with a person who like goes out and hangs out with their friends or something. And it's like, so they could trigger you in that way, but it's like but they also aren't actually doing anything bad. So, it's kind of like one of those things. I don't know. I feel like this is something that's meant to make you grow. Looks very good to me. Will it last? Maybe. Ace of Pentacles to me is a card of marriage. It can represent marriage. So, I think that it could be something that really lasts. Either way, it's like growth. You have the moon here. Again, the moon is about growth. I kind of feel like the need to let down a little bit of emotional armor. Again, this right here is a lobster or a crayfish. I don't care. And, lobsters don't do well on land. So, the whole point of the lobster is that it's coming out of the water, but it needs to release its emotional armor so it can move forward, right? And it doesn't say don't protect yourself. It just says, make sure, it just says that you can't be so guarded, if you want love, obviously. It's, I always get comments that are people like, well, I don't want love, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well, you actually do, because you've left that comment like 20 times, so you definitely do. And yes, I'm calling that one person's ass out, right? But, what I would say is, okay, good, don't, you know what I mean? But it's like, at the same time, yes, you're guarded, some of you, not all of you, right? But I'm talking to that one person, not you. But what I'm saying here is that if you're too guarded, then you can't move forward with the moon. So the moon is about releasing emotional armor, and it's really about balance as well. It's kind of about balancing your domestic side and your wild side. The dog and the wolf and the dog and coyote, they represent, balancing your domestic and wild side together. So I kind of feel that here, but let's see where this is going. With the moon, you have the Seven of Swords. Yeah, probably been lied to, cheated on, whatever, in the past. The two sevens, two sevens' internal fears don't exist. So I would definitely release your fears at this time with those two cards. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Ten of Swords. Both people were stabbed in the back here. This is, I think you both have exactly the same story. This is definitely love. I feel there's definitely love coming in for you, for those of you that want it. And, again, I think both people were stabbed in the back, but it's like both people also need to release it. Because I feel like there could be something really good coming in here. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Cups. Yes, opening your heart, following your heart, following your intuition, and all that other stuff, right? So, that's what I would say here is like follow your heart, basically. And, I feel like that'll set you free. I always say that, like every single person I've dated has told me exactly what's going to happen pretty much right away at the beginning of the relationship. I just chose not to listen, right? So it's like, I don't blame any of those people. It's like, you can't blame someone when they basically, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, if it acts like a cheater and walks like a cheater, if it acts like a bozo and walks like a bozo, then it's a bozo, right? And so we really can't blame people when we choose to ignore it, right? So, that's what I would say here is that I feel as long as you're listening to your intuition and trusting actions, you'll be perfectly fine. Especially if you're attracting like a new person. And so, there you go. Sorry, I'm choking now. But I would also follow your heart, by the way. In the area of the good stuff, you have this gossip card. It says people are talking about you and what you're doing. People are always going to talk about you. That Gemini, Mars and Gemini at the beginning of the year, we had that Mars retrograde in Gemini. Even though we are well past it, don't care. As far as I'm concerned, years where there is a Mars retrograde, I am always super careful of like gossip, drama, getting involved with that stuff. I just don't, right? And I would say the same thing to you. Although this is showing up in the good stuff, so you could be clearing something like that up. You have this card that says a new career path will be highly successful. Trust the magic of newness. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, 2 cards of newness. Every single reading this week has been about newness as well. So I feel there's something new here. And it looks like it's very prosperous. You have the Ace of Pentacles. You have that prosperity card at the beginning of the reading. I feel like there's something where there's going to be a lot of this kind of like growth opportunity. We have all this energy in Taurus, and Ace of Pentacles keeps showing up for like everyone, right? And to me, the energy in Taurus, Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus, is all about kind of nurturing something into existence. It's like slow and steady and methodical. And it says if you really take care of something, it will be very successful, whatever it is that you're working on. And it doesn't have to be money. It could be business. It could be health. It could be your relationships, whatever you want to improve. But if you like really nurture those things, then you'll be successful. And that's what I would do here. You have the Ace of Wands. I'm going to show you this as well. See, I feel like you're getting it's like you're getting answers or inspiration. The Hangman, his head is glowing. He's put himself in Hangman mode so that he can find his inner light, or he's trying to kind of gain enlightenment. He's trying to gain answers. He's hanging from the tree of knowledge and wisdom. It's almost like there could be a spark of inspiration that leads to prosperity is kind of what I'm getting here in this reading. It's almost like there's some sort of sudden understanding with that prosperity card and the energy card, in this right here, where it's like you're understanding maybe what steps to take to move forward in your life, or like how you can improve something that you've been working on. You fire signs, it's kind of weird because, it's like everybody else, I feel, should probably start something new, right? All the other signs. For you fire signs, I think that it's not like you're really starting something new. It's more like you're just improving whatever you've been doing all along. So, it's more like improvements is what I would say. With the Hangman, you have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, getting answers, seeing things clearly. She has clouds only halfway up her body. She sees things clearly for the first time. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Swords. A Nine of Swords is like a never-ending nightmare, but it's coming up in the area of the good stuff. So I feel you could be improving a financial cycle if you've been in like a challenging financial situation or something like that. I feel you could be just improving your financial situation. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yes, Knight of Pentacles tells me that you're making progress. Knight of Pentacles is just simply a card of progressing on your journey, especially in the good stuff, and it really tells me you're taking action as well. Normally, I don't like the Knight of Pentacles because he kind of represents taking no action, but again, he's coming up in the area of the good stuff, so I feel like you are making moves, which is great. Let's see here. You have good cards. You have this July card and this King card. It says, pay attention to your health. Are you kidding? The whole entire reading, there was a bunch of stuff here about health. I feel like you are improving your health, but, again, I would pay attention to your health. Again, not a doctor. I have no clue what I'm talking about. There you go. You have this Boot card. It says, increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. Yes, definitely. I think we all need to do this. I don't think it's about, like, hard work necessarily, but I think a lot of us have dreamy ideas. Right now, we have Neptune and Pisces, which gives us these, really kind of like castle in the sky type dreams, right? And we have Saturn and Pisces, which is like, you could build that castle in the sky if you get to work, right? So, I would definitely get to work on your dreams because it's possible. That's what I keep telling people. It's like, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. People always tell me, they're like, you said I'd be a billionaire. I'm like, I never said that. Number one. Number two, I make it a very clear point that tarot isn't magic. I take it with a grain of salt, and I would say that you have to put in the work. I say this literally every single video. You have this Archway card. It says new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. The whole entire reading was about new opportunities, 2 aces, so really big new opportunities. You have this basket. It says recognition and reward for merit. I almost feel like this is what you're working for. That star card really stands out to me. I'm not saying like you want to become famous. Maybe some of you do, but I really feel that the star card is attention for you, Aquarius, or for you, Sagittarius. And I feel like you are hoping for attention based off of like what you do, your work or your business or your career. So like I said, some of you might want to become famous, but again, I would put in the work. We are in a time of attention. I literally say this all the time. You have this dolphin card that says financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. Yes, definitely a very prosperous reading. I would say I really feel you are increasing your prosperity. This looks really good. Love it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your month.